Beer off.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It is I, the urban sensation, C-Red, along with that dude over there, Steve Aaron. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight's Power Hour is unlike any other episode we have ever had. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm I'm stuck. I'm tired. I don't know what to say because we got Youth Gone Wild and the Gotch Brothers together. And I really don't know what's gonna happen. So all I'm gonna say is welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I'm gonna light my stick. Welcome.
Hashtag that Gotch Brothers sucks.
Well, we're almost together because unlike us, Tom and Matt don't spend every blinking moment together. They don't do everything together. So how are y'all even, how can you have the charisma that we have? How can you have that connection that we have?
Hey, man, when our towns aren't so freaking fucking podunk that everybody in town knows who everybody is. We don't live in a freaking fucking shrimp shack down the street, all right? Sorry. We actually have nice homes.
Come to our town, they know our name.
I'm pretty sure everybody fucking does out there. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, they do. They have a shrine. They have a statue to Frank out in the middle of the field out there.
They know the
They have a statue of Frank in the middle of a field. Yeah, that sounds really.
It's next to a waterfall in the middle of like a forest kind of. But yeah, they do.
Oh, okay. That's pretty. What have you guys done?
Go ahead and log onto our YouTube page, Jacob Gotch. That's a shameless plug there. Go ahead and log onto our YouTube page. We've traveled everywhere this last year. Y'all, what? You just
travel to Chicago.
You just got back together.
You didn't travel to Chicago.
Well, we worked Ricky Morton's show yesterday or 2 days ago.
That's great. I worked Ricky Morton.
Hey, man,
I beat Ricky Morton.
Next time you see Ricky, ask him about the show where he had the girl in the back seat and she was getting a ride and she couldn't pay for gas. Ask him what he did.
Yeah, I'll make sure to ask him. He's old as dirt, but I'll make sure to ask him about that one random memory.
It's the one he's always reminded of.
Well, this is going about as well as I expected it to go. We weren't even 38 seconds into the program, and it's already off the rails. Welcome into the Power Hour. I'm Steve. That's C-Red, as he said. It's the first time that I've ever had the opportunity to not meet person to person, but actually sit here and physically talk to the Gotch Brothers. An amazing legacy you have. I went on that YouTube page that you advertised, and I have really enjoyed the work you do. Before Youth Gone Wild smears everything you do, I want you guys to kind of give me a little bit of perspective on how long you've been wrestling and how you've been building your brand. Because I know all about Youth Gone Wild. I've got chicken bones in my shorts to reminisce about my time with Youth Gone Wild, but I want to hear a little bit about what makes the Gotch Brothers so special.
I want to hear about chicken bones.
Red, that's a whole other show.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we grew up on a wrestling mat. I mean, obviously with a name like Gotch, you kind of expect to grow up on a wrestling mat. All through high school, my dad plugged us in at a small little club when we were little. It grew to one of the biggest clubs. It's actually on the other side of the state lines, Millard South Wrestling Club. It's one of the biggest clubs in Nebraska right now. We moved, and then I wrestled at a small college just outside Nashville, Tennessee. My brother enlisted in the Marine Corps, wrestled on the freestyle team. So, I mean, when they plug their veteran experience, and they've been wrestling for what, like 3 or 4 decades now. I don't know how, they're old as dirt, but they've been wrestling for forever. And then they're going to come at us and say, well, we're the green guys. We're the young ones, but we've spent our whole life on a wrestling mat. I mean, we have bled, we've sweat. I have dropped more quarts of blood on a wrestling mat than they have even. They can't imagine how much we've given to the sport of wrestling. So despite us coming in at a little older age, we've experienced more in life and more hurt on a mat than they could ever imagine. And then to get into wrestling, it was just to get into pro wrestling, it was just a natural step. I mean, it was in our blood already. And we took to it naturally. And promoters picked up on it, and we hit the roads. Everyone wants to book the Gotch Brothers now, so that's where we
John
are.
Bullard of Chicagoland Championship Wrestling is no different. Certainly booked you, and due to unfortunate circumstances, you were unable to come October to Grapple Masters, but you will be in Chicagoland on April 17th. To tussle with the Youth Gone Wild. Before we get to the Youth Gone Wild, which don't worry, we got plenty of time to talk to you. I know all I need to know about Youth Gone Wild, so we'll get to that.
We don't even want to hear it.
Well,
We
maybe
can reserve at least an hour and a half just for Tom to get his stupid monologue out.
Tom talks nonstop.
Tom, go ahead.
Whenever you guys talk, I skip through about 30 minutes of your talking.
Oh, come on. We're so entertaining.
You guys shot like
listen to you.
You shot a 10-minute promo of nonsense.
I'm sorry that Creed didn't want to.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Tom apologized. That's it.
Hey, come on. You guys loved the package we sent you. You loved it. Come on.
Hey, you know what? I smoked some meat and I used that book as a fire.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that, I couldn't stand in the background and flip a tire for 3 minutes while Loudmouth over there spit off at the gums.
It's called lifting weights. So
you just admitted that you couldn't flip a tire for 3 minutes? It's really not that hard.
I'm just thinking that's the only rubber you've ever seen in your life.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, this went down a very strange road.
Hey, do something about this.
Odd insult, but all right.
Get some control.
We got plenty of control.
Come on, Iron Man, what do you got?
With a name like the Gotch Brothers, is that a double-edged sword in this business? I mean, the expectation that you would be naturals. I mean, you hear about, third generation, fourth generation superstars all the time. We watch many of them on television today. Is it a curse? Is it a blessing? Or is it both?
People would think it's a curse that they have something to live up to, but honestly, it's kind of a blessing. I mean, we get to honor Frank in the memory of my family and my father and my grandfather who did it before us. But at the same time, we kind of get to stake our own claim and do our own thing because we're a tag team where Frank and my dad, and they did their own thing, but we get to work together and we get to make our own style and do our own things where it's different. I mean, it's good, but it's bad. But at the same time, when we beat teams like Youth Gone Wild and we go up that, we take another step up, and it just honors his legacy that much more. So it's got its ups and downs.
It's a fantastic answer. Now, before we get back to the bickering and the back and forth tete-a-tete, as it were, you both are tag teams of a high pedigree. I've obviously been watching and working with Youth Gone Wild members for almost a decade now, and I'm becoming very versed on the Gotch Brothers because we need to call that match in April, and I need it to sound good and I need it to be right. So I'm watching both of you fight in different circumstances, and I'm noticing you've got a lot of differences, different styles, the way you conduct yourselves. Everything about you looks on the outside to be completely different. But I've also noticed quite a few similarities. Now, without trashing the Gotch Brothers, I'm going to start with Matt. You clearly have to be excited for a challenge of this nature. I mean, you fought all over the place in Chicago. You guys have a excellent reputation as being one of the top level tag teams in the Midwest. But now the Gotch Brothers are coming, and it's going to be a fight, and it's going to be a main event style fight. Everybody is coming to Michigan City to see this fight. You have to elevate your game. And I know you don't like them, but I feel like because you guys are all supernaturally talented athletes, you have to respect them. So without bringing them down, what is your expectation as far as the professionalism and what you're going to have to do to compete in a match? It's going to be a Donnybrook. There's no doubt about it.
It's going to be a fight. That's plain and simple. It's going to be a fight. They've got to bring their best. We got to bring our best. 2 A games. That's it.
Tom Heisman, I've known you more and longer than anybody I've known in this business. And I respect you because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your assistance at various times. And I know you're a man of character, even though you have the veneer of being rough, aggressive, and 100% pure adrenaline. But now I want to hear from you as a man talking about what your expectation is when you get into the ring with the Gotch Brothers. I've heard the insults, I've seen the promos, but I want to get deeper, because this could be the match of your life. This could be the greatest challenge you've had in all the years you've been in this business. You're not dealing with the Garden Variety tag team. You're dealing with Legacy. And Legacy is a big burden to have to compete against. What are your thoughts?
Well, you go with Legacy. You're talking, these boys are fighting their family's name, a name that's synonymous with wrestling. And the thing is these boys got a lot on their plate. I mean, a lot. I don't know if you guys realize that. You got a lot on your plate, because up until this last year, maybe a year and a half, Creed and I have been up and down these roads for the better half of almost a decade. We were never even we were never even knowledgeable of knowing that there was offspring of Gotch that still was in a ring. So we've had this laundry list of people that we've wanted to work. We wanted to work the modern day sharpshooters. Well, as of last week, they're no longer a tag team, so they're off the list. We wanted to work the Plague. Machine just got surgery. He's off the list. Well, then there's you guys. Promoters have said, well, what about these guys? I'm like, we know nothing about them. They got a name to fight for. All right. I want to see you guys earn your own path instead of coattailing off of dead relatives, because I'm sure you boys can do it. I'm sure you can. You're a tag team. You're not singles. Frankie Boy was singles. He didn't need someone watching his back. Not saying you do. Not saying I do or Creed does. It's the side of the business that we chose to get into. And seeing as you two are brothers, you two should have each other's back no matter what. But what I want to see is I want to see exactly how much you're going to bring to the table, because it's already beyond a wrestling match. This ain't wrestling. This is going to be a fight. And if there's anything I enjoy more, it's getting my teeth knocked in, standing back up, taking another lick, and dishing it out just as bad as I can take it. And honestly, the only one I'm actually worried about is the one who served in the military. Because he might be the one to actually break out and be something, because he's got the drive, the determination, and the dedication. He knows what it's like to have to make it and survive.
I need to change my hashtag to damn.
I need to change my hashtag to way to avoid the question. But
I'm going to go ahead and cut you off. Joe Buck. I'm going to go ahead and say there's different ways of surviving. My brother served in the military. He served on the Marine Corps wrestling team, traveled the world. I've beaten cancer. There's different ways. There's different obstacles everyone has to overcome. A few weeks ago, I was hospitalized with diverticulitis. I went into the hospital. The doctor said, I'm sorry, you're septic. There's a 50-50 chance you're going to die. This has nothing to do with Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. I'm going to break the fourth wall here. That's truth. I literally almost died. So when you come at us and say, oh, I'm only afraid of one of you, you better be afraid of both of us, because it's not just him. I've got you, Tom. I'm going to suplex you so many times that you won't even be able to walk out of the ring.
I'm sorry.
We'll see how many Germans it takes to give you a concussion.
I'm so sorry, but Creed, I really hope you just wrote that down. Why in God's green earth, to quote a former legend and Hall of Famer, why in God's green earth would you tell us that you were just in for an abdominal injury?
It's a big word. Sounded out.
Why would you tell us that you were in there?
I know you dropped out of school in fourth grade.
Abdominal injury.
You can sound it out.
Do you not think we're not going to take that into effect and now know, oh, we're just going to work your abdomen and beat the living hell out of your gut?
There's a little thing that I'm sure you've never heard of. It's called training.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm 100%. I've never felt better. Like I said, we're back on the road.
Lesnar, for example. All right. You both suffer from the same condition, correct? Do you remember when he was feuding with John Cena? What was it? 4 or 5 years ago? And Cena was attacking the abdomen of Brock. Brock went weak.
I'm gonna end this segment with you just compared me to Brock Lesnar, so I'll take it. Go ahead, Steve.
Brock showed a weak sign, and Cena took advantage. Everybody's like, Brock is this big old monster. Guess what? He's human, just like you. And if you're sitting there suffering from the same injuries, do you not think we're going to take that into effect and sit here and just give you kidney punches and gut punches the entire time to put you down?
I'm going to cut you off, Tom. I'm going to cut you off. I'm not going to let that happen. You can try it. But like you said, you're worried about one of us. You should be worried about both of us, because what I know, he knows. So you should be very, very careful. Because
me and Creed are sitting here giving up, big information on if we have a weakness or not.
We don't. It doesn't matter if we give it up.
You want to know.
I'll tell you my whole life. You know why? Because that's not a weakness for me. Because I can still take you to town every single day. I'm gonna stretch you. Bro.
We are stronger for the obstacles that we've overcome. This is not a weakness.
You've already said that you're scared of me.
I'm worried.
I'm worried.
None of your family, friends, and kids, but you've only got 2 out of the 3. So.
All right. Let's just end this right now. Okay. Healthy or not, it's going to be a fight. Okay. We can all agree on that.
It's not going to be a fight. We don't care if we win or lose. That has no bearing with us.
Hang on.
It's not a fight. It's Chicagoland Championship.
I spoke. Now let Creed speak.
No. That's all right. That's all right. You know what? Yeah, you're right. It's going to be a wrestling match. That's what it's going to be. But whether you guys are healthy or whether you guys are not, it's not going to matter. We're going to beat you. We're going to pummel you. We're going to win the match. And then you guys are going to look like my left hand drew a picture, okay? And in case you don't know what that looks like, let me show you. Let me show you here. I'm going to draw a smiley face with my left hand, and this is what you're going to look like. There you go. Can you guys see that? No,
we can't see it.
Well,
so
it's
I mean,
ugly as hell.
You're left-handed.
Well, okay. So
what?
I guess I want to play therapist for a moment, if I may. Indulge me.
What?
Just hear me out. And I want to get, because I'm very interested in this dynamic right now.
Right, help.
I'm watching the Gotch Brothers react to the stuff that Youth Gone Wild is saying. And I'm wondering, and I know that you guys have never really met face to face. It's been a distance of a confrontation thus far. And I want to know, Matt and Tom, what the Gotch Brothers did to garner the disrespect, because that's what I feel. You guys are disrespecting them. I don't see them attacking you necessarily straight away the way you're going after them. I'm just interested because from jump, you guys they weren't able to make it to the show in October, and you guys took that as weakness, not for what it was. And now it's turned into this tactical smear campaign. I'm just wondering what the motivation is behind that. Tom, I know you're volatile and I know you're opinionated. And Matt, I know that you and Tom ride together. But I'm curious, is there a deeper issue here that we don't know about?
Back in August, John Bullard sent out contracts to both Creed and I, Joey and Jacob, asking for us to be a part of Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. I am sure, because I've seen their contract, and I'm sure they've seen ours. We were all in one of these little tiny videos where they had to be witnesses to the whole signing, to sign for the October show, showing that we were going to be working each other in a sanctioned Chicagoland Championship Wrestling tag match. Steve, you were part of that call. Do you recall?
Sure.
All right. C-Red, you weren't there for that. You were dealing with some ARC stuff. Joey, Jacob, do you recall this contract signing?
Yeah, we were there.
Okay, so we all agree that we were all part of a phone call, a Zoom meeting, because that's what's popular back when this whole pandemic started.
Still popular.
We all put our names on the dotted line stating that we were going to be at this event. We were going to put on this match And it was going to be a spectacular event. 2 days before the event, I get a phone call. I'm sitting next to Creed. We're actually here in my basement at that time, getting ready for the match, having a beer, just saying, this is gonna be a fun time. Don't mind, yeah, we're assholes, but we were going into this match full respect, full complete composure of being able to stay professional. We get a phone call from John stating, hey, we don't know what to do. The Gotch boys aren't showing up. One of them got COVID. We were all kosher. We were all cool at the time. And yet you couldn't contact us personally and tell us, guys, we can't make it. We had to find out from a third party. Granted, that third party is the promoter, but I thought we were all cool. And then when we reach out, nothing. Explain yourselves on that, because I'm sure Creed and I would love to know. I'm sure Creed would like to know. I'm sure Steve would like to know, and I'm sure Red would like to know. Yeah, this pandemic's messed up a lot of lives, and it's affected some, and it affected one of you.
Mm.
You got some explaining.
Yeah, I got something. I'm going to tell you.
Common courtesy would have been great, because we were going into it as a friendly match. Now it's personal.
So before the even contract signing happened, you guys were dishing insults the whole time. So I don't even know what you're talking about respect and friendly match. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Why should I contact you if I have COVID, if John Bullard is the owner and promoter of Chicagoland Championship Wrestling? He's my boss, not you.
We don't owe you anything.
You're not my boss, so why would I contact you? I'm contacting the guy who's signing my check to be at that match. Why should I tell you guys?
Okay, well,
Can you answer that one?
Explain this one then. Only one of you got COVID. So why didn't the other one show up, and it could have easily been a singles match?
Tag team for life. Everything we do together. I'm not going to come down there and wrestle one of you. I'm not going to come down there and wrestle one of you, beat you, Tom, and then Matt come in and say, whoa, it wasn't a tag team match, so that doesn't count. No, I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. It's tag team match or no match.
I'm sorry, but if I got struck down with COVID and this was a big fan-anticipated match, like it was, I would have easily told Creed, hey, man, obviously I can't be there, but you got to be there to represent the team.
Yeah, that's
not how
COVID works.
Here's how it works. I got COVID. We do everything together. So he was exposed, and according to the CDC guideline, he has to quarantine as well. See, you guys don't know that because you guys don't do everything together because you're not a real tag.
So you should be thanking me because I didn't expose you to COVID.
We saved you guys from COVID.
You're welcome.
Well, okay. So
all right.
You just had to stir the pot again.
That was a valid question. I just was interested to know.
And see, Red, they put all the ingredients in the pot. I just brought the spoon.
Red, what's your opinion, Red?
Yeah, Red.
Y'all just want to throw me in this. Here's my thing.
You're a veteran of
Come
over
on, Red.
15,
Who's the better tag team here, Red? Come on.
First of all, Creed, you are not gonna put me in any type of position on my show. Just telling you. I know how to cut mics off and all of that stuff. Here's the thing. Gotch Brothers, I'm gonna be honest. I hadn't heard of you. But I went and looked at footage. Damn, I'm impressed. Just call it like I see it. But I know you've gone wild. All too well. And even though we have similar mindsets, we shall say, on how to get business done, I've seen them destroy people here that aren't no longer here. They have put people out of this business. I've seen it. I've witnessed people walk to the back, pack their bag, to hell with a check. I'm done. I can't wrestle anymore.
You saw that?
Yes. Let's just say Mr. Heisman is Mr. Heisman.
This name has been around for over 100 years. It's not going anywhere.
I get that. I get that. So let's be honest. When the match was first signed, I was excited. I was ready. I'm sorry. I was gonna be one of those guys peeping through the corner. Like, I got to see this. Not hear it. I need to physically see it. So it didn't happen. And then all hell broke loose. And now in April, hell, well, I'm on the show, but if I still need to pay for a front row ticket, shit, I think I'm gonna do that. I want to see what is in store. This match, I honestly feel, in no disrespect to the champion or anybody else, the matches have been announced. I honestly believe this match is the show stealer. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. Even my match. Hell, you know, people anticipating to see me wrestle, but that's beside the point. This is the match that can take everything to a different stratosphere. And I think with the technical wisdom of the Gotches and the straight out, I don't give a flying of You've Gone Wild. Two complete different styles. Two complete different ways of training. Let me tell you, I know that definitely. It will be match of the night. I'm calling it now. I am just scared to what level all four of you men will compete and take this till somebody's hand is raised in victory. That's what I'm scared of. Because from the way it sounds and the way things have been going, again, I understand. Yeah, Steve stirs the pot. Yeah, Mr. Gotch, you brought the spoon. But sometimes when you put that lid on and you turn that fire up, sometimes shit just explodes. And that's what I'm actually just kind of waiting for. It's almost like a Gallagher show. Like the watermelon, the sledgehammer, and I know the end result will be shit everywhere.
Wow.
And that's what I'm kind of waiting to see what happens.
It's almost like John Bullard in his infinite wisdom knew what he was doing when he signed this match.
You know what? I think when John first signed this match, I thought he saw the technical side and the unorthodox style and said, this could work. And then COVID happened, and I'm glad you're recovered from COVID. So, you know, as you say, the fourth wall, fuck it, you know, I'm happy you're all right. God bless, thank you. But now we're back to April, and shit, this has been worse. Because for months,
the only thing I can say to that
is months and months and months and weeks and days, and y'all are at each other. And it's almost like illegal pit bull fighting. You know, Steve, like you got that one.
I mean, I don't know pit bull fighting. Other than I've never been to it.
I'm from Red.
I don't know what happens where you live.
So
Red, you know. if I can interject for a second, it's
please do.
Much like the perfect storm.
I have something to say. Of course. Surprise.
It's much like the perfect storm. Chicagoland Championship Wrestling is the Andrea Gale, and you've got two hurricanes coming on both sides, and that gale is going to get hit by both and have to go right up the middle. But the only problem is, which hurricane's going to get swallowed up by the other storm? Now, I don't want you guys to think I don't respect you, because I do. I respect the name in Gotch. I respect what Frank did. He paved the way for a lot of guys, an entire industry of guys. You're just a small little pebble on that walkway. I want to see what you guys can do on your own. I don't want to keep hearing Frank's name.
Do you know how Frank got to the legend status that he was? It's because he beat well-established, I don't want to say icons. He beat well-established men as we will beat you. It will just be another stepping stone on our way up. And so when people look back at our work, at our list of accomplishments, they'll say, yeah, they beat so-and-so, they beat so-and-so. Yeah, they beat Youth Gone Wild, they beat so-and-so. That's how Frank got his name, was he beat well-established men. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to beat you, and it's just going to be another step on our way up.
You realize you're stepping in the ring with the Bruno of tag teams in Chicago. You realize that.
What I realize is we're bigger than you. We're faster than you. We're significantly stronger than you. We know holds you've never even seen on YouTube. We know suplexes, double team moves you guys have never even thought of. This is not a good matchup for you.
I've seen girls on Pornhub put up a bigger fight than you guys are going to have to. I'm just saying.
All right. That's great.
I'm not lying, all right?
In the span of 15 minutes, we've had a reference to Gallagher's comedy in the 80s, The Perfect Storm with George Clooney, and now Pornhub. I think that's just about enough.
And I'm not wrong.
Well, you might be a little wrong, but here's what I'm going to say about what's happening. We're in January. This is only January 5th. This match, it doesn't take place until April. So if you all are this amped up now, I can't imagine how this is going to look as the slow burn begins to get, as the wick gets shorter, as it slow burns. I can't imagine what this would look like in March. So I might want to have a return show maybe the week before the event to see what's on your minds right before the day of reckoning occurs. Here's the most important thing that people need to know about what's going down on April 17th. There is nothing sexier. There is nothing more satisfying, and there is nothing more entertaining than well-orchestrated tag team wrestling. When it's done properly, it's an art form. And I really think you guys are.
Wait, this. I think the Gotch Brothers and us. I think we can both
we're
say
on the same
that.
Page here.
Yeah, we're on the same page here. What the hell are you talking about? Sexy.
What are you talking about?
Did you say all four of us are sexy?
Well, I'm saying that what you do in that ring is
who's the prettiest one to you? Like, is it Tom?
It's obviously Joey.
What I'm saying,
it's definitely not you, Matt, because you're filming from a potato right now. So
filming from a potato.
What I'm saying is that when tag team wrestling is done properly, it's very enjoyable to watch. It is. I remember my first experience watching a really well done tag team match, and it was Beefcake.
Who was in that match?
Huh?
Who was in that match?
It was when the British Bulldogs won at WrestleMania 2. That was one of.
Not you, Tom.
I wasn't saying it was gonna be me. I wanted to know how far back his knowledge goes.
What I want, I was a big fan when I was young of Hulk Hogan. That's all I really wanted to see until I saw that match. Until I saw what the Bulldogs and Beefcake and Valentine did at that WrestleMania. Or I'm sorry, it was the Hart Foundation, probably.
Yeah.
The point of the matter is this.
And you call yourself a wrestling historian.
I never called myself.
Why is this not your show?
What now? The point is that match was so great to watch, right down to that finisher where the Davey Boy Smith used the Dynamite Kid as a battering ram to his head caused the victory was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. To this day, it's one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. And I think this match has that chance to be this historic. I think
I'm not denying that, and I'm sure the Gotch boys aren't denying that. This match has the potential, and damn well, more than likely 1,000% will be match of the night, to quote C-Red. I guarantee, and I'm sure they will agree, no one's walking out of this match the same way we walked in. I guarantee it.
Tom, let me cut you off real quick because you've already been going long enough to bore me. I'm tired of being called boys. We're brothers, but we're men. Stop calling us the Gotch boys.
So give us the respect we deserve. I think you're thinking too small here, Tom. We don't care about the match. We don't care about who gets their hand raised in April. I want you to remember, from now on, every time you step into a ring, in the back of your head, I want you to remember there's a chance that they can show up wherever you are and ruin this for us. No matter what you're wrestling for, no matter what belt you're going for, there's a chance in the back of your head. I want you to remember we may be there and we may end that night.
Don't sing it, boys. Don't sing it.
There was no singing. That was
just
speaking.
Bring it. Oh, has it? Because you've no-showed once already.
I don't think that's going to happen in April.
Save your life.
As a matter of fact, I think it's setting up to be what C-Red said earlier. Even though it's not for a title, it may very well be a main event caliber match. It may very well be the main event caliber match. Could be the match of the night. Could be the match of the year. It's going to slow burn into a frenzy by the time we get to April. To the Gotch brothers, we haven't seen you up in Chicago. At least I haven't, which isn't to say that you haven't traveled. When you make your way up here, are you excited to work at Chicagoland Championship Wrestling? Are you excited to be up here in the Midwest? Is this something that you're looking forward to?
I mean, of course, anytime we step into a ring, we're excited to get into the ring and show our craft. But right now we're working on the Southeast, expanding everywhere we go. We're winning titles across the Southeast right now. But bringing our name back to where it was first founded. I mean, I don't know if, of course, they're not wrestling historians, but Frank's first win against George Hackenschmidt for the first time he beat him was in Chicago. So us bringing our name back to where it all started, of course, is a big deal for us.
It's tradition and, an honoring of tradition. And the match is not only a homecoming to a certain extent for your legacy, but it's coming home to possibly one of the bigger matches of your career, if not one of the biggest matches of your career at this point. Amazon Prime, Fight TV, powered for .tv. It's going to be on a major showcase. It's on a major stage. It's on a major platform. The world, if they haven't seen you yet, they're going to see you now. So you're not going to be that little secret. You're going to be prime time. Do you feel any extra pressure with that onus on you?
No, because like I said, we don't care if we win or lose at this point. I mean, it was at first it was a sporting match and it was getting our name out, and this is going to open doors. Beating them is going to open doors to be able to go to Japan and Mexico and Germany and different countries. But now I don't really care.
I'm going to say this.
I just want to hurt them.
TV's TV. I don't care about that. This has become personal. When you start insulting who we are by saying we're riding the coattails of our great-great-great-grandfather, I mean, sorry that we want to live up to his expectation and live and carry on his name. You know what?
At least we have something to live up to.
TV aside, this is personal.
Can I ask a serious question? Seriously.
Are you capable of thinking that deeply?
Why has no one else in your family, generations before you, carried on Frank's name?
I'll tell you why. Because they've been saving and waiting for the best.
But who's to say you're that generation of Gotch that deserves to do so? What stopped your father?
I guess you'll have to wait and find out in April then, won't you?
Wait till April.
I guess you'll have to wait and find that answer out for yourself in April, won't you?
But what stopped your father, his father before him, to carrying on the Gotch name? Why did it have to skip 3 generations to come back into the fold?
I can give you that answer. My dad was a 2-time state champion in high school wrestling. Had me at a young age, got into competitive bodybuilding, and he decided that raising us to be that name that was going to fulfill that legacy was more important to him than him being the one to fulfill that legacy. And that is why family and blood is the most important thing to us, because it's not about us. It's about the family as a whole. So if it's not us, if tomorrow I walk out, snap my leg in half and decide that's it, I'm done, I will raise my children to be the legacy. And that's what my father did.
I'm not doubting your abilities to be a father, because I'll never do that to anybody. All right, I'm not doubting your abilities to be a father. But the thing of the big question, still kind of in the back of my mind, is it skipped 3 generations for a Gotch to step up.
You remember that pot C-Red was talking about? It's just been stilling. Our legacy, our family name, it's just been marinating and stewing and boiling. And when it got to us, it's boiling over. It's ready to serve. We're going to serve you with suplexes and stretches all day long, man.
There won't be any suplexes. There won't be any stretches.
He speaks.
I'm telling you right now. At the end of the night, we're going to be the ones covering you guys, because we're going to have suplexed you, because we're going to have stretched you. We might even make you tap if I feel like it. I am pretty well versed in submissions myself.
Pretty well versed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty well versed still pales in comparison to what we've done.
I'm sorry, a Russian suplex and a spear is not that intimidating. We showed that when we did.
We're unpredictable when we step into the ring. Very unpredictable.
Intimidating, but it gets the job done. And guess what? You may think you've experienced a Russian leg sweep and a spear, but you haven't experienced it from us. Because when we do the laid and safe, when we hit that, it's over. Nobody, not one person has ever.
And it's not even about that. It's the 15 minutes of getting stretched before that leads to that. That's why that's so effective. It's not because that move is so deadly and dangerous and it ends people. It's because you have to endure 15 to 20 minutes of us just stretching the crap out of you until you can't move, and then we finish it.
You rely on that tag finish to get the job done.
We have multiple ways to get a match.
That's why they call it a finish, right? You rely on that move to end it.
What? I didn't hear you, Tom. What?
You rely on that Russian spear to get the job done, right? That's why they call it a finish.
I'm going to go ahead and say that at least we have our own move and didn't have to steal it from someone else.
Fun fact. We didn't steal shit. Road Warrior Animal himself passed that move down to us. We don't steal anything. We don't steal looks. We don't steal gimmicks. We don't steal appearances. Before Joe passed away, back in April when Cauliflower Alley was supposed to take place, I was actually scheduled to meet up with him. I was in Vegas when it got rescheduled to September, and unfortunately Joe passed away the same day he was supposed to accept his tag team award as the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom with Hawk and Animal. And I really don't even feel it's appropriate to talk about this because those guys are on a much higher level
I'm not
than
talking
you
about
guys
them.
and us.
R.I.P. to Animal and Hawk. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you.
I understand that. 2010, our home company that me and Creed trained in brought in Road Warrior Animal. He saw our look. He saw how we work. He saw what we do. And it hurts to say this because Animal's death is still very, very soft to my heart. All right? You wanted me, you got me. Because now you got it personal. When Joe came in back then, he saw what he saw in us. And if you notice, C-Red was just nodding because he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I was there that night.
Joe came up to me and Creed and said, I like what you kids do. You fight and scratch for everything you got and everything you're going to get. No one's handing you a bone.
And you looked up to him, right?
Look.
You looked up to him, right?
To Joe and Mike? Yeah.
Right.
Just a little bit.
Now I want you to understand everything you just said and how personally you took it. That's exactly how you guys have talked to us for the last year. And I want you to take everything you're feeling right now and understand that's exactly how we felt for a year. It's built up.
The only difference
right now, when you're saying it's personal because I've insulted you, because someone who meant so much to you, someone who was an inspiration to you, a mentor to you, we've insulted. We never insulted him. That's what you've done for the last year.
The only difference
what's been brewing for us.
You sit there and say we don't have to fucking steal a move or a look. We were never stealing anything. Joe handed us that responsibility to carry on what him and Mike did. And if you notice, I'm not calling them Hawk and Animal because me and Joe were on a much different personal relationship. All right. I've come and gone with other companies. I've helped run companies. The last time I saw Joe, I helped bring him in. I made sure he got home in a snowstorm when we were getting hit with a blizzard. Steve, you were there.
I was.
C-Red, you were there.
I was.
That man drove his home to our venue in a damn blizzard, and not one person checked on him but me to make sure he got home okay. And in the same conversation, he's like, you're a real friend, you're a real guy. Fast forward, we're supposed to go to Cauliflower. He wanted me to meet up with him and his wife, Kim, to have dinner in Vegas before he accepted an award presented in front of all of his peers. And unfortunately, he passed and he wasn't able to do that. Cauliflower was also canceled. So him and Kim took their vacation elsewhere, the same vacation that was their anniversary. Creed knows how much this has affected me. More than him. We were never handed anything. He let us adopt the Doomsday device, the spikes, the chains. The only reason we don't don face paint is because we're not a tribute tag team. We are our own people. We're making our name on our own path, our own footsteps in the past. Those are ours, and we're not walking in anyone else's. All right? So you keep the name of Joe and Mike out of your mouth because we're not. And I repeat, we're not following in their footsteps. All we're doing
so it's okay for you to insult our blood.
To our division.
It's okay for you to insult our blood. But we say anything and you go off. Okay.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may. Tom, that was very passionate, and you've revealed details that I don't think are widely known. I listened to you go on and on about that experience and, how much their legacy and how it's been passed on to you and how important it is to you. I kind of see some similarities in what the Gotch brothers were saying about theirs. And do you see similarities now? That's what I was talking about. Although you're very different people, that much is sure. I think the show has proven that. But do you see that when it comes to terms of legacy and respect, that you guys have similar tendencies, yet you are attacking them for what you just said?
Here's the difference, Steve. What we've adopted and what we've been handed is not breeded into our bloodline. All right? I'm not denying they've got huge shoes to fill. I'm not. And I guarantee Creed will agree. We're not filling the shoes of a pioneer of this entire industry. We're not filling the shoes of two pioneers that defined a generation, multiple generations of tag team wrestling. All right? The Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, the Legion of Doom defined tag team wrestling. And the fact that Joe himself gave two kids from Chicago permission to carry on in what they did is different than being handed it because of the same last name.
See, I think that's the difference here. I don't think that they were handed anything, and I think by continuing that they were handed anything, that's ridiculous.
The difference is they were born into it. All right.
I don't see how that matters.
How does it not matter? They have a name to defend, but also a journey to make on their own.
And I think that they're making that journey. I mean, this is just what I'm hearing. You know, obviously I don't know the Gotch brothers as well as I know you, but I think it to me, just as the guy that's trying to run the interview here, it sounds like, you know, you're claiming your stake, but you're kind of trying to second guess their stake. And I think it's similar, you know?
Me and Creed have been doing this for what now, Creed? Over 10 years as a tag team? 10, 11?
Yeah, as a tag team, about 10, 11. Yeah.
The Gotch boys have what? Scratched the surface for a year and a half? We've paid our dues. We've been company to company. We've seen highways and we've paid our tolls. We've been everywhere. These guys come on the scene for what now? An hour and a half to our many, many times of having to do multiple matches. Multiple years, damn near a decade. The only person who can compare to that is Red, who transitioned from wrestler to manager and on the occasion still becomes a wrestler when he has to.
But you're talking as if for the last decade we just sat around doing nothing.
I'm not saying that.
You forget.
You guys have just now made your presence known. And I'm not lying. I'm not going to deny the fact you guys have put in work. You're becoming masters of your own craft, and I commend you for that. But the thing that I've got a problem with is the fact that you cannot uphold an agreement. I still go back to the fact one of you had COVID. Nothing stopped the other one. I don't care about tag team wrestling as a whole because now it's become personal. You could have easily shown up and had a singles match with either me or Creed, and we would have been respectful enough to keep it as such.
That wasn't what we signed. That wasn't what we agreed
but
to.
At the same time,
that is exactly what the crowd wanted. They wanted to see Youth Gone Wild versus Gotch. Now, I'm guaranteed when we announced that one of you had COVID, the crowd gasped and had sympathy for you because they could relate. Because I guarantee there were some people in the crowd who have been affected by COVID, whether it be personal or family related. But nothing stopped you from being able to still represent your team, represent your family.
Being exposed to the COVID and possibly being a carrier affected him from showing up. Now, I want to hear, hang on. I want to hear from Matt. I just want to hear Matt talk for once because I'm so tired of listening to Tom. I would like to be soothed with Matt's voice. You know what? That's where I'm at. I would like to be soothed. No quotes on my part because I am so burnt out on Tom.
Man, I am just enjoying this. I have nothing to say. I'm enjoying all this back and forth.
Okay, so let me give you a question, Matt. You've sat here and you've listened astutely to what the Gotch brothers have said. You have sat here and listened very astutely to what your partner says. Do you have anything to add to the term legacy as far as the way you feel about the Road Warriors to the way they feel about their legacy? I think that these are similar. I think Tom is too wrapped up in the passion of the moment to see clearly. Maybe you can see clearly. Do you see that you guys have a strong sense of legacy and that should tie you together rather than rip you apart?
There are similarities, but there are differences as well. For instance, Frank Gotch, singles wrestler, Road Warriors tag team. Okay. Those are obvious differences.
Obvious.
As far as similarities, well, I mean, they both shared rings with numerous opponents. Both got in there, fought, wrestled, what have you, brawled. Okay. Look, I'm not sitting here and saying that, you know, the Gotch brothers shouldn't live on, you know, and shouldn't keep, you know, Frank Gotch in their memories and keep the legacy going. I'm not saying that, you know, just like, you know, we're not here trying to build up the Road Warriors. We're trying to build up ourselves. We want the Gotch brothers to bring an A game. We want the Gotch brothers to build their own legacy. Cease with the family legacy. Build their own name as a tag team. That's what I want to see from the Gotch brothers. I want to see a tag team, not singles. I don't want to see Frank Gotch. I want to see Joey and Jacob in the middle of that ring.
So when you say you want to see a tag team, doesn't that go against what Tom was saying? One of us should have showed up and had a singles match? Technically,
yes, but I don't agree with Tom on that part, only because, like you said, COVID, you know. If it wasn't COVID and it was something else, definitely. I think that one of you guys should have showed up. For instance, if Jacob was still in the hospital, Joey, you should show up and you should challenge for a singles match. That's flat out. But if it's COVID, I understand the whole, yeah, somebody else can get it.
Okay. I want to ask each person a question, and I'm going to start with Joey. Do you respect your opponents?
That's tough. But, you know, I do, because of their passion in sport. The fact that they've been around, the fact that they've traveled, I respect them. And, you know, no matter what the outcome is, in the end, I will respect them because of the fact of what they've done in this business so far.
It's an interesting answer. Matt Creed, do you respect the Gotch brothers?
As you know what, as human beings, as people, yes, I respect them. As professional wrestlers in this sport, as a tag team, I cannot say that just yet. Not until they get into the ring, not until they put up their fight, they put up their wrestling match, not until the show's over. Okay, not until they have brought their A game. I cannot say that they have the respect for this business like me and Tom do. The passion for me that me and Tom do. But as human beings, yes, I respect them.
Interesting. That's an interesting. So when they come to fight you in April, they have the chance to earn your respect. That's kind of what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay, that's interesting. Tom, I'm gonna go to you next, and I want
no. Go to Jacob.
Okay.
Go to Jacob.
I'll let you do that. But when you go to Tom, you go to Jacob. Time limit?
Yeah, we'll give him a time limit. Jacob, do you respect your opponents? I'm just interested to see how you all feel about what you're walking into. I know what we've been through here through this show and how it's gone, but do you respect them, the people that you're going to be fighting in April? Do you respect them?
I think to say no is ignorant. You have to respect the people you get in the ring with, because if you don't respect them, you take them lightly, you take them for granted. That's when things happen you don't expect to happen and you get beat. So I think if we don't go into that match with a sense of respect for who they are and what they've done, that's when flukes happen. And that's, if we didn't respect them, a fluke could happen and they could get a pin. So yeah, absolutely. We respect them. We respect every day when we go to the gym and we lift, every time we step in the ring with another team, we're respecting them by being more prepared for that match. So yeah, I do respect him in that sense.
Okay. Tom, I'm going to ask you the same question, but I want you to really be careful answering this one. You and I have a lot of history, and I know where you could go, but I don't want flashy Tom Heisman. I want your heart. I want you that I know to answer this question honestly. I think the fans deserve it. Tom Heisman, do you respect your opponents?
Personally, for who they are and what they want to do with their lives and be able to do outside of the realm of reality, yeah, sure. I don't deny the fact that they can be great people and embark on something that is greater than them. I wish them all the luck. Professionally, I'm hurt. Because originally we were all cool. You know, yeah, you want to break that fourth wall, let's break that fourth wall. We're all paid at the end of the day for putting our bodies on the line and entertaining a crowd. But between bells, anything can happen. Now, you want to talk professionally? No, I do not respect them. Personally, I do as men. Professionally, I do not. I've never once backed out of a booking. I've never once no-showed. If I was sick, I still showed up. Now, before you retort, because of COVID, I get it. But like Mr. Bullard had all of us do before the show, 2 weeks ahead of time, and a week ahead of time, we all tested. We all made sure we were clear and good. I'm sorry that one of you, tested positive. It sucks. I get it. We were all gypped out of a match the crowd wanted to see on that day in October. Well, guess what? Now we get to do it in April. April 17th, Michigan City, the same building. You guys both show up. When that bell rings, you'll have my respect. But after that bell rings, I can't guarantee that neither me or Creed are going to tear you apart like a pit bull. But I would expect the same thing back. You put us to the mat 1, 2, 3, you'll have my respect professionally. We put your shoulders to the mat 1, 2, 3, you'll have our respect professionally. We might not like you. We might not want to deal with you, but you'll have our respect. So to answer your question, Steve?
At some point, in some point in that discussion you did, I think, maybe. C. Red, any final thoughts?
Really? Is it April yet? Shit.
See, Red, you've been down the road, up and down the road. You've 18 years, almost going on 19 in this business. You've seen a lot of matches. You've seen a lot of wrestlers. You've done a lot of things. Nobody respects your career more than I do, or I wouldn't have chosen you to work with me. My question to you is, do you think this could be one of the hottest matches, rivalries that you've seen in recent memory?
Hell yeah. I don't even have to second guess that. I already explained it earlier, so I'm not going to go over it again. Just again, I've had to educate myself on what the Gotches can do. I am highly impressed. Trust me, if if they're ever looking to join, they can always.
Don't get your hopes up.
I know, but hey, I'm a businessman first.
These kids want to make it on their own, they'll do it on their own.
Tom always got to put in his 10 cents.
Can you just let the man talk?
Let him talk, Tom. You've had your chance.
Steve, back to you.
To the Gotch Brothers, I say thank you for taking your time tonight. I look very much forward to working with you. I am very impressed by what you do. I am fascinated by your style, and I can't wait to call your match on Amazon Prime. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a privilege. To the Youth Gone Wild who have dumped chicken and potatoes on me,
I still need to hear that story. I
even
swear.
though you've humiliated me over the years, I still look forward to this match for many reasons, because I think the styles, the clashing of styles is going to be something that has never been seen before. And having the best seat in the house and be able to talk about it and put it over to thousands of people all over the world makes me very excited and very much anticipating what's going to happen on April 17th. It's important to know that when rivalries are as hot and as bitter as this one, it really makes everybody in the situation better. You make each other better. You make the locker rooms better. You make the commentators better. You make the fans more excited. And I think April 17th in Michigan City at Grapple Masters, the wrestling world is in for something that they haven't seen in a long time. A meaningful, rivalry-based match, a tag team match for the ages, and a clear main event. And having the best seat in the house makes me the happiest guy in that building. And I can't wait to see the pictures you guys paint. There aren't four better storytellers in this business right now. And all the stretching and suplexing and doomsday devices, all of that that's going to happen in the arena in Michigan City, Indiana at Grapple Masters is going to raise the bar for everybody. And when the bar is raised, everybody has to be better. You will lead, you won't follow. And this, in my professional opinion, right now here in January is the match of the night. And I don't see that changing as we move forward to April. Gentlemen, I'd like to invite you back as we get closer to the show in April so we can see how you're doing, so we can see if this rivalry is every bit as intense as it is now. I think the fans are going to be thrilled by the dynamic here. And I really appreciate you taking time out to start 2021 off for the Power Hour in such a hot, fiery fashion. The Gotch Brothers, do you have any final thoughts?
I mean, it started out competitive. They took it to a personal level and then get insulted when we scratch the surface on doing the same. I think it's a double standard. I think it's a load of crap. And I think when April comes, they've got a rude awakening coming in. They've talked about wrestling teams like the modern day sharpshooters who are obviously known for different holds and stuff, but I can promise you they've never stepped in with anybody like us. And like I said, I don't really care if we win or lose anymore. I just want to see how many suplexes it takes for Tom not to be able to stand up and walk out of the ring.
Or talk.
Youth Gone Wild. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, there will be no suplexes. There will be no suplexes. And again, there will be no suplexes thrown at the show.
Tom?
Just show up and get your ass beat. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a fight. Whether it's us getting pinned, you getting pinned. At least you'll have shown up and done something for once.
All right, well, we're going to take this bowl of cheer and we're going to wrap for the evening. On behalf of C-Red and myself, Steve, and the Gotch Brothers and Youth Gone Wild, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week, and have a great evening, everyone.